Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Sir Alex Ferguson Challenge with West Ham. Now today's episode is all about the January transfer window, so let's just jump straight in. So it is the 31st of December and tomorrow will of course be January, where we will get an influx of players who we have signed over the season. But just to start things off, some early things to talk about. Tonali is going to be chased by Real Madrid apparently. Let's see if they even make an offer in the January transfer window. Often when news articles like this come up, nothing ever happens. Fabio Silva wins World Under-21 Footballer of the Year. We'll just congratulate him on a job well done. Aaron Martin was listed in the World Team of the Year as a starter as well. So a really good signing for us he has been since last season. Had an incredible first season, 21 assists in 36 games. He's had a bit of a quieter season in terms of output, but a better average rating. So more to come from him. Harry Miller has won the North American Player of the Year award, which I guess is a good accomplishment. Well, one of our players who was out on loan actually came third in the African Defender of the Year, Musa Kessie. He's developing quite nicely. So it has ticked over now. We are in January. Southampton make a Declan Rice offer. £20.5 million is not something I'm interested in. Let's see if Declan Rice kicks up a fuss against that. PSG coming for Lato, 33 million. I'm not interested in that either. He is our backup left back, but he has started quite a few games this season. At least played in quite a lot of games this season, and he's performing really well when he's playing. So unless it's a bigger offer than that, he's not going anywhere. So we've got some players coming in. Some of these players I can't even remember signing some of them. It might have been a couple of years ago and they've only just turned 18 so they can sign now. But for 525 grand, we have signed David Becerra. He is now in our under-23s. He's a striker. He looks quite good, particularly physically. Obviously, he needs a lot of work to improve his mentals and technicals. And we signed him from Atletico Nacional. But he looks okay. Will at the very least make a good profit. 525 grand is a ridiculous price. We signed Cassio for £450,000. An attacking midfielder. Looks pretty well rounded. I love the fact that his technique and vision are already up there. It's already sorted. I'd like to see his dribbling and his physicals improved in terms of acceleration. I think that will be quite important for a player in his sort of position. But yeah, we'll look to get him loan game time out. Oliver Kramer was signed for £550,000 as Danish central midfielder. Looks like he's pretty much close to his potential. Looks like one of them that might be a bit of a dud, but for 550 grand, it's not the end of the world. We'll look to loan him out, maybe look to sell him on in the summer. And finally, we have a Danish centre-back named Peter Frank, who was signed for £575,000. That was he from Bromby as well, he was. And he looks decent. He's well rounded for a centre-half. He's still got a couple of stars of potential to grow, so we'll get him loan game time out as well. And of course, Lato wants to discuss his future. And he backs right down as soon as I say you're not going to get enough football. Monaco are starting now with a £55 million offer for Alexander Isak. He's currently valued at £57 million. He's playing plenty of games for us. It's a non-negotiable offer. Why do EI teams think they can get away with that sort of stuff? Luis Felipe again, £42 million. He's a starter. He's valued at 36. He's not going anywhere. And I bet you they both kick up a fuss. Let's see. Yeah, both want to talk to me. Well, they both just wanted new contracts, so they've both got a little bit of extra money going into the bank account. He's currently on £86,000, Alexander Isak, and we offered him 110. We offered Luis Felipe £155,000 per week, and he's currently on 130, I believe. So not massive amounts of difference for them to be actually coming to me with an issue. So I'm happy to hopefully tie them down for the foreseeable future. Tony Lato again attracted another offer, this time from Monaco again. £34.5 million non-negotiable. Ridiculous. So we've just played Brighton in the Premier League and we won 6-1. Do not get confused by this scoreline. This was very nearly a defeat. They scored in the 27th minute and we piled forward, we pushed forward, we tried to get the goal back, and it wasn't until the 73rd minute where we finally broke the deadlock and managed to get a goal back in this game. And then after that we went a little bit crazy. Aaron Martin got the opening goal, an own goal in the 76th, Alexander Isak with a double in the 79th and the 83rd, Moise Keane in the 89th, and Aitor de Paula came on in the 91st minute and got himself a goal as well. So we've made a huge signing in my opinion. We have signed Martin Watkins for £16.5 million from Arsenal. He is an English central midfielder and he is classed as a wonder kid. Now, Whenever somebody English comes up with high potential and he's available for not £100 million, I have to jump on it. This is the kind of guy who's going to come into the first team squad and he's going to push out somebody else. I'm going to have to make a decision on who is going to vacate the squad for this guy to be able to fill in. But he looks absolutely fantastic. £16.5 million is a massive, massive bargain. Barcelona have come in for Sandro Tonali. Now, is Sandro Tonali going to make way for Martin Watkins? I highly doubt it, but we are going to negotiate and we're going to ask for ridiculous money. We'll start at 300 million. They've withdrew the offer. That's absolutely fine by me. And of course, Tonali now wants to speak to me. And he's just accepted the excuse that he's not going to get game time at Barcelona. He's a bit thick. And here is Watkins in a West Ham shirt. His 4-star current ability, 5-star potential. I did not think he would be 4-star current. That means he's better than Brent Beckiart according to my assistant manager, and he is actually better than Brent Beckiart. But I don't want to lose Beckiart. I want to keep him in the first team squad. So he is going to have to replace either Ronaldo Vieira or Aitor De Paula. Now, De Paula does still have a little bit of potential to fulfill. So I might actually just look to loan him out, actually, not sell anybody right now unless the right sort of offer comes in. Ronaldo Vieira is worth £30 million, but he is English, so I would like to keep a hold of him as well. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer Aitor De Paula out for a loan. And De Paula has had an offer for a loan come in, £250,000 a month, either playing or not playing, and they're paying 100% of his wages with first team football. He's going to Atletico Bilbao. Hopefully he'll accept the offer, and it's a nice little learner to keep things ticking over. So we've just played Wigan in the FA Cup third round and we absolutely smashed them 10-0. Martin Watkins got a brace on his debut and I actually took him off at about 50 minutes just to keep him fresh for the league games because I think he's going to be an incredibly important player for us going forward. I should have kept him on to try and get his hat-trick, but we won 10-0 anyway. Martin Watkins with 2, Moise Kean with 1, Isaac with a hat-trick, Emerson with 2, Declan Rice with 1 and Aitor De Paula with another. Another offer from Tony Lotto. This time it is a loan offer with a mandatory future fee of 30 million, 300 grand per week. Not interested. So we've just played Stoke City in the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg and we come away 3-0 winners at home. Harry Miller with a couple, Emerson with 1, and we've set ourselves up nicely to get to a domestic cup final. Well, the Lotto offers have gone up slightly, 42.5 million, reject. We have just played Burnley in the Premier League and managed to get through 2-1. We always seem to struggle against Burnley in terms of breaking them down. They started with a 4-5-1 formation with the... So Reece Oxford is the latest to be linked with a move away. Borussia Dortmund have come in with a £30 million offer. It's not something I'm interested in considering he's worth 28 million. He's homegrown, he's English, he's decent. We don't actually have somebody who I've got in mind to try and bring in replacement. So we went for it. 80 million I would have took. Actually, I would have probably negotiated down to around 55, something like that, 50 million. I probably would have accepted. But Reece Oxford is hopefully going to stay at the club throughout the January transfer window and beyond. Now, this is an interesting one. Milan come in with an offer to take Fabio Silva on loan, 300 grand a week per month, plain monthly fee, but with a mandatory future fee of £79 million. Now, if they came into me and says there's 79 million for Fabio Silva, would I have taken it? Absolutely not. Let's try and negotiate this. 150 million, that's a bit much. They're probably going to withdraw. They have. Never mind. I didn't want to sell him anyway, but if we can get a ridiculous amount of money for him, there's plenty of strikers on the game I could sign. How ridiculous is this? So Milan have just come in with that offer that you've just saw. They've withdrew and then come in with a full transfer offer of £72 million. Some of it in installments and per international appearances. What is that crap? The EI should not be doing that when they have offered you 300 grand a month for the rest of the season and then a mandatory future fee of £79 million. They shouldn't be then coming in with a £72 million offer dependent on clauses. That's just ridiculous. But now, of course, Fabio Silva wants a new contract. He's got 3 years left on his deal. I'm not going to give him one. Potential issue with Silva. You have plenty of time. No, he's not even going to kick up a fuss about it. So we've got away with that one. Premier League, away to Norwich, 1-0. Alexander Isaac, 3 points. Alexander Isaac out for 3 months. Star signing, Martin Watkins, out for 2 to 3 months with a fractured upper leg. And we've just played Stoke City in the second leg of the League Cup semi-final, and we managed to scrape through this one at 3-2. We were 3-0 up anyway, so we had plenty of room for manoeuvre, and we ended up going through 6-2 on aggregate. Tony Lotto, Moise Keane with a double. We were down for a large period of the game, and they got the opening goal with Eden Goy in the 13th minute, but after that we cruised. So Bayern Munich did come in for Reece Oxford. They offered £31 million within clauses and stuff. I did manage to negotiate them to £50 million, and they've went away to ponder over the deal, for it hasn't made enough progress. The last offer they made was £42 million, so it's very likely that Reece Oxford might end up with a £50 million offer from Bayern Munich. Would you take that? Considering he's English, he's homegrown, he's played plenty of games this season, but he's not like a clear first choice for our centre-half position. I'm going to have to go and do some shopping. So in anticipation of Reece Oxford potentially leaving the club, I'm going to try and unsettle Robbie De Smet. He's from Tottenham Hotspur. He's Belgian. He looks really, really good for a 20-year-old central defender. 3-star current, 5-star potential ability. I wouldn't mind getting somebody like this in. He's not necessarily better than Reece Oxford right now, but I think he definitely will be in the coming future. Reece Oxford's got better speed and physicals, but in terms of everything else, defences, it's quite equal. Mentally, it's quite equal. Reece Oxford a little bit better aerially, but technically, attacking and vision, so he fits the more, I guess, a ball player and centre defender role, but of course he can improve a lot more in the future as well. So I made a £10 million offer that didn't even negotiate. So I'm going to try and unsettle him. I've made the offer of 10.75 million. I've listed him as my top transfer target in the media, so we'll see how that goes. Right, Bayern have come back in with a non-negotiable £46 million offer for Reece Oxford. I think I'm going to... What am I going to do? You know, if I would have took 50 million, is 46 million not enough? You know what, Spurs aren't playing ball with De Smet. I'm not going to accept £46 million. It's not enough for me to let him go without having somebody lined up ready to replace him. He's free to go if we get a decent offer, but not for 46. And we've just played Huddersfield in the FA Cup 4th round, and Fabio Silva penalty in the 94th minute is what actually got us through into the next round of the FA Cup. And we've actually got them in the Premier League at home this time in the last game of today's episode. So the January transfer window is fast approaching its end. Unless we get some crazy offers for some of our players, this is probably going to be it on the transfer front, unless a player comes to me like Martin Watkins did. But we'll see how it goes. And it looks like we're going to end the January window with a very, very disappointing draw at home to Huddersfield. There we go. We spent the entire game really attacking them, and we just could not break them down. Not enough shots on target in terms of percentage of the overall shots, but we should have been winning that game. The fact that we haven't, their defence played incredibly well, is really, really disappointing, and we'll quickly go and check the Premier League table, actually, because we haven't seen it in quite a while. We are still 9 points clear from Man United in second, but that could have been 11 if we'd just got over the line against Huddersfield. 2 home draws in the league this season. Away form must be better than home form at the minute. There is still 1 day left of the January transfer window, so I'm going to quickly play this and I'll update you if anything changes. I don't see it happening, but we'll see. And there we go, the January transfer window has shut. Nothing really happened on the final day. No offers came in for any of our players, and nobody popped up who I was interested in signing. Cousins has signed for Man City, which is always fantastic. But yeah, I think it's been quite a successful one. I think Martin Watkins will be a really, really good signing for us long term. Obviously English, centre midfielder, absolutely fantastic. Ignore the fact that he's just broke his leg as soon as he's come. He will be fantastic next season. Just look at all that green. Isn't it? How lovely is all that green? And then Huddersfield ruin it. But in terms of the next episode, we are going to be facing Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League first knockout round. We do have a League Cup final the game after. I'm not sure if I'll live com that, but obviously I'll show you the result from that. The League Cup doesn't even matter to me board anymore. We're at that point where the League Cup is next to nothing really, but winning the Domestic Cup is always nice if we can do it. If you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you're enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.